It is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight amazing food in our area.
Yes, and it already smells amazing. Today we are joined by Executive Chef Brian Clevenger. Welcome to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you own 6 different restaurants around Seattle?
You know, a couple.
Tell us about it.
We're working on a couple more. So we have Vendemia, East Anchor Seafood, GH Pasta, Haymaker West Seattle, Roccolto, Autumn, GH Pasta and Pizza, and then we're working on 2 more that open up by the end of the year.
Wow, I call it success when you got a full-blown list,
Definitely.
sir.
Well, thank you.
Yes, and you have the seafood market. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so East Anchor Seafood, ultimately we opened a seafood market because we wanted a better product at a better price that was more sustainable, and so we just did it ourselves.
That's
And it's kind of grown
awesome.
from there.
Okay, and you're known for handmade pastas, fresh local ingredients. Tell us all about that. How many pounds of pasta do you think you go through in a
Oh my
day?
gosh. Our bakery team will tell you exactly, but it's hundreds of pounds of pasta.
Oh my
Day?
God.
Yeah, you know, we sell a lot of pasta. We also bake all of our own bread and make all of our desserts in our bakery team, and then we ship it out to the restaurants every day. And, you know, we go through from rigatoni to spaghetti to linguine, everything you can think of. So.
Yum. Now, I know you mentioned it, but can you tell us a little more about the newest restaurant that we have opening in West Seattle in the spring?
Yeah, so we have a concept called GH Pasta and Pizza, and what it is it's a restaurant that focuses on fresh pasta and lightly fermented pizza dough in neighborhoods that allows for, you know, more frequent dining as opposed to like this once a quarter, twice a year, once a year kind of environments. We want something people can afford to go to, you know, once a week, once a month kind of.
I love that. And today we're making some vegetarian pasta. Tell us all about this.
Yeah, rigatoni. So this is pasta we made ourselves. We cook it for a couple minutes, add it to a simple tomato sauce, which is just onions, tomatoes, garlic. Cook it down, a lot of olive oil, salt, chili flake, teeny bit of butter, basil, and kind of a lot of cheese.
Simple means it's delicious. I feel like if you're doing it right,
Yeah.
it's going to be so good. And even dry, this looks so beautiful.
Yeah, you know, you can tell with our pasta, it's what we call high structure.
Yeah.
So the majority of it is semolina, and what that does is it kind of creates this balance of what's best about dry pasta and what's great about fresh. Meaning, dry pasta, for me, what's really great about it is the texture. And what's great about fresh pasta is the taste, right?
Yeah.
So we found a way to kind of blend those together by creating a high structure pasta that allows us to cook it half in the water and then the other half in the sauce without it kind of blowing up and becoming a mess.
And I love we've got this fresh basil here. So do you tear that up, or how does this get incorporated?
Yeah, so we got all the basil in Seattle right there. So we're gonna tear that up. We're gonna cook this for about a minute more. Then we're gonna pull it off, add butter, Parmesan, basil, oil, and then a lot of burrata on top.
Yum.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I never do the warm sauce with the pasta. I just boil the pasta and then put it in the cold sauce, if I'm being honest.
No, don't do
so
that.
I've already learned so much here.
You're
Don't
going
do
to
that.
scare the guests.
Everyone's
Harley.
wincing around here. This is why I'm glad you're here, Brian.
You know, the trick is, for me, is always think about your pasta being more about the pasta, right? And that's why a dish that's just tomato sauce and some cheese is really important to us. And we design dishes when we say, how can we make this taste more like pasta, right? And one way we do that is we always cook with the pasta water. So this right here has probably 3 tablespoons of pasta water in it as well. Because when you think about it on a basic level, when you're boiling pasta and you dump it off and all that white, right? That's starch, which is essentially pasta. So why the heck get rid of that, right? So now you can make your pasta taste more like pasta by using the water you cooked it in.
Oh, what a great tip. So
Yeah.
other than that, and Carly's astonishing admission, what is it that people are doing wrong at home when they're trying to make pasta?
They are making it too much about the sauce or the meat sauce or the mushrooms. For me, if you like dry pasta, buy a high quality dry pasta. Cook with dry pasta about 3/4 in the pot and then 25% in your sauce. And if it starts to over-reduce, just keep adding pasta water and cook it what we call a la risotto. So in the style of risotto, you're always keeping that starch in there, which means you add less bad fat to make it really rich.
Ooh,
love
yummy.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
So we threw some butter in here. What's coming in here next?
Yeah, so we got a little bit of butter. We're gonna mix it up.
I've never added butter to sauce.
We're just gonna
Me
make it a
neither. I
little
have
bit
not.
rich.
Okay, good.
Okay, So now we've got butter, chili flakes, salt, pepper, tons of basil. I think the basil is really good, and you can see we tear it to order. This is really important because when you tear it, it does one really positive thing and one negative thing. And by the negative thing, it bruises and oxidizes and turns like dark color, and it starts to lose its beauty, right? But when you tear it, it becomes, as you can smell, really floral before it starts to go bad, right?
Yeah.
So we tear it to order, mix it in there, add our Reggiano as well.
And that's similar to a Parmesan, right?
This is Parmesan, yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now we've got this.
Look at those beautiful cheese curls.
Man after my own heart. That is a lot of cheese.
I'm hungry.
Yummy.
And this is just to build the sauce, right? So now mix it in there, and we've removed it from the heat. And the reason we do that is because if you add it while it's on the heat too early, it'll just burn to the bottom. And for me, this looks just a teeny bit tight. So like I said, I'm gonna come back, add like a tablespoon of pasta water, mix it up.
Look at that. And by being tight,
yeah,
what does that mean?
I felt like there wasn't, like the sauce itself, it wasn't saucy enough. And again, as you can see, it's not about the sauce, it's about the pasta. But I felt like it was just starting to seize a little bit because of the cheese, right?
Right.
Have you ever heard that famous line from a show called Vanderpump Rules? It's not about the pasta. It was a whole fight on this reality show. It's an iconic line now.
And they're wrong.
Yeah.
And you
It's all
are
about the
mistaken.
pasta.
It's all about the pasta, right? Everything we do is to enhance the flavor of the pasta. So next we've got a big piece of burrata right over the top.
Wow.
Big piece of burrata right over the top.
Protein, baby.
Yeah.
Olive oil.
Okay, so we
Salt,
got this beautiful
pepper.
olive oil here. What do you think of that Starbucks coffee they're going to throw olive oil in?
You know what?
have to ask.
I just read about it, and I don't know enough to have an opinion.
Okay.
All right.
I do know if it's olive oil. I like the sounds of consuming more olive oil as
Yeah?
opposed to seed oils. Yeah.
Oh,
Can we eat this now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ooh,
Take a bite. So she get a little chunk of the cheese in here. I feel like I'm in Italy. This is so good.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love
so
it.
creamy too.
I feel like the fresh noodles really go a long way too.
You can see they kind of they still hold their shape where
Yes.
traditional pasta will kind of like expand or what we call like blow up.
Yeah.
That's a high structure pasta that keeps it together.
This was fantastic. I feel like I
Very
learned
similar.
something today too. Not only am I eating good food, but you taught us some good tricks here. Chef Brian Clevenger, thank you so much.
Thank you for feeding us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We posted a link with more info on our website. And catch us there. Catch us tomorrow. Bye.